Sucker Punch studio co-founder Brian Fleming has finally broken his silence on his former employee, Drew Harrison's comments as regards to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But is it too little too late? And why was it only said in an interview and not actually put out as a statement on the company's social media and websites? Interesting. Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Sucker Punch Productions, the company behind the great Ghost of Tsushima, have had their back against the wall for the last 9 or so days. In actual fact, ever since some of their stupid employees decided to open their mouths and be exceedingly callous and vile as regards to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, believing themselves to be untouchable and on the right side of history. There seemed to be a lot of surprise when consequences came to bite them all in the ass. Now, former employee Drew Harrison, because they were fired from the company, posted on their Blue Sky account where they thought everybody was just as deranged and mentally tapped in the head as themselves. I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. Luigi, of course, referring to another assassin from last year now, I believe, but condoning the violence and condoning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Other members of Sucker Punch liked the post, as well as other people from other games companies as well, but they seem to escape punishment for that action, which in my eyes shows some even more cowardice from the company. But what really got people's backs was the fact that even though Drew Harrison was fired, Sucker Punch themselves never made any statement about it. In actual fact, they decided to bury their head in the sand and hope that everything just blew over, and that sure as hell ain't ever gonna happen now. Then 4 days or so ago, PlayStation on their official YouTube account posted a trailer for Ghost of Yotai, which was due for release on October the 2nd. So this couldn't have happened at an absolutely worst time for Sucker Punch, and to be quite honest with you, I think they absolutely deserve everything that they're most likely going to get, with the trailer being heavily ratioed. The production of the game itself had already had its own controversies, which I'll go into in a moment, and that revolves around the actress that's doing the main character for this story. But the PR disaster that they now had on their hands was absolutely catastrophic. And yet, still, no statement on their social media or website as regards to the firing of Drew Harrison, and the company condemning what they had said and people who support political violence like this. So let's just go back to the main character for Ghost of Yotai, and that's been played by actress and activist, of course meaning narcissistical twat, Erika Ishii. Back in 2020, long before they were cast in this role for Sucker Punch, they'd posted out on social media, "I'm Antifa, and so is my wife." And of course, what Antifa means to them is somebody that has a different opinion to myself, but we're so mentally retarded, we can't actually handle or process that. And they better keep this information on the DL now that the US government has classified Antifa as a terrorist organization. Last thing we want is you to be dragged into a police station, particularly when you're filling out your pronouns, because apparently, according to your profile, you're all of them. Yeah, all of the fucking mental illnesses. Now, this is where I myself made a colossal mistake, because I thought that when you're hired by a company, you act professionally and within a code of conduct. You do your job, you take your paycheck, and then you move on. But apparently that wasn't good enough for Erika, and oh my God, They had to flap their gums at every given opportunity, which of course was always going to reflect badly on Sucker Punch, on Ghost of Yotai, and more importantly for that company, put people off purchasing the game. As little as 6 months ago, this absolute jelly brain had posted this on social media: "If you're MAGA, we don't want or need your business." Now, I wonder if you ran that past Brian Fleming. I mean, did you go to the head of Sucker Punch and say, "Hey, boss, is it okay if I put this on social media and tell 53% of the American population that they can go do one that voted for the person whose name we shall not say"? Do you think he would have endorsed that? But the fact that no consequences to these actions are ever taken, you have to believe that they probably do endorse it, or they're too spineless and cowardly to actually speak out about it, just like with Drew Harrison. You see, this apology that was made by Sucker Punch Productions co-founder Brian Fleming wasn't done, as I said, on a statement on the company's website or on social media where it'd most likely get most eyes and traction. No, it was done in an interview from a website called GameFile that, if I just shift myself across here, you can see has got a staggering 19 likes on it since yesterday, with only 4 comments and 2 reposts. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Stephen, but let's just say we'll put the champagne on ice for now as regards to how many people actually saw this article. And the very fact that somebody found it and therefore posted it on social media, well, if they hadn't, this apology would have most likely gone unknown, unmentioned, possibly for months. Now, Stephen, who decided to pass Drew Harrison's comments off as a joke, so I think we all know where he lies, didn't actually believe his luck when Brian Fleming decided to actually respond to the question of that post. And he said, "Drew's no longer an employee here. I think we're aligned as a studio that celebrating or making light of somebody's murder is a deal breaker for us, and we condemn that, kind of, in no uncertain terms." Well, which is it? Is it kind of or in no uncertain terms? Because the two are very different to each other. That's sort of our studio, and that's kind of where we are. There's a lot of kind of sort ofs here. Seems to be a lot of caveats inserted into this statement. Even though he claims that this is absolutely a deal breaker for the company, he can't muster the words to put that into a statement on their website, on social media, for everybody to see. Not just the people who are absolutely outraged and disgusted at the behavior, not just of Drew, but other people within the gaming industry, but also as a word of warning to people who want to work at Sucker Punch, are working at Sucker Punch, and may be affiliated with Sucker Punch. But the simple answer is no. It's complete and utterly radio silent in that regard, which to me clearly states that Sucker Punch, they don't want to make this statement at all. In actual fact, the last time that Sucker Punch posted something on their social media was the 18th of September, and the time prior to that, the 9th of September, both of them obviously pushing Ghost of Yotai. But this clearly isn't a statement that they want to make from the company itself. This is coming across to me like a passive statement with an almost Pontius Pilate element to it. They're just washing their hands and thinking, yeah, somebody through osmosis will filter this statement from Brian out into the masses and it will be construed as an apology, and therefore we won't actually have to make a statement on our website or on our social media, and that absolves us of that element, and we won't get any clapback from all the other mentally ill fucktards that are in our industry and that we also employ. So no, Brian, this isn't an apology in the slightest. This is a non-entity. You haven't got the balls, you haven't got the stones to put it where it belongs on your brand, on your account. If you were hoping for a statement that might have persuaded you to change your mind and actually purchase Ghost of Yotai, then I think it's perfectly clear where Sucker Punch Productions lie. This was a pretty cowardly and ballless act from the company. They don't want to make an official statement, and they're kind of hoping that this interview would have done their dirty work for them. Now, whether or not you decide to use the language that you use in that statement, it's meaningless when you don't actually stand behind it for your company. To me, this is a disaster. It comes across as weak, it comes across as cowardly, and people aren't stupid. They can see this for exactly what it is. It's a non-apology, it's a non-entity, and again, it's most likely a placation to the people who all have their tapped ideology within your industry. So, my position's perfectly clear. I still won't be touching this game with a fucking barge pole. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.